Welcome back to my channel. Today I will show you an action, science fiction and comedy horror movie called Slither, released back in 2006. Directed by James Gunn when he was not yet blonde. The movie starts in space, where a meteor is heading towards Earth at high speed. The meteor was housing a malevolent, sentient extraterrestrial parasite. Bill, the chief of police at the small town of Wheelsy, in South Carolina, is on watch with another officer Whaley at night. It burns up when it enters the atmosphere and becomes smaller and unnoticeable. The two cops didn't notice when it crashed in the woods behind them. The meteor cracked open to reveal alien life. The Wheelsy town was known for deer hunting. The people there were mostly old and poor people. The town mayor Jack, a man who with a dirty mouth swears at man, blocking the road with his car. Starla, a very beautiful young woman, teaches her class about biology while being admired by the boys. She was talking to a familiar face when her husband, Grant comes to take her away in his car. Bill and two other officers saw the couple and start saying that she married her for the money. Bill disagrees and dismisses a kid for asking questions. That night, Starla and Grant are about to do the old in and out, but Starla told him she was not in the mood. Grant gets frustrated and puts on his clothes. He said he is going to take a walk and leaves. He goes into a bar and sits alone to listen to a bad karaoke singer. He gets approached by Brenda. She tells him that they were in high school together. They got together and went into the woods afterwards. Brenda shows Grant their initials carved on a tree and tells him that she had a crush on him while they were in high school. While frolicking in the woods with Brenda, Grant notices a slimy trail. He follows it and comes upon the strange life form sitting there. He gets a closer look and tries to poke it with a stick. The thing opens up, shoots out a long needle thingy at Grant. He gets hit in the stomach. The parasite travels to his brain and takes over his body and absorbs his consciousness and memories. With the alien now in control of his body, he got up and got home. He went straight to the fridge and took out all the meat to eat. In the morning, Starla wakes up and sees Grant's truck on the porch. The now possessed Grant makes a nest for himself in the garage with leaves. She feels bad about last night and tries to make up by playing their song and luring Grant to her. She apologizes and starts kissing and they smashed. At work, Starla tells her friend who keeps asking about her smiling more today that Grant was different this morning and that he was discovering different parts of her body like he was a little boy. Grant goes to the supermarket and admires some meat. He bought a hefty amount and brought it on his truck back. He puts on locks on the door leading to the basement. Starla asks, but Grant steered the conversation to her birthday coming up. He suddenly starts to crave for some fresh meat and he comes out of the house. He sees a small puppy dog and kills it. That night, he felt an insatiable urge to impregnate and populate the new planet it found. He goes down to Starla, who is taking a bath. Two tentacles came out of his wound from earlier. He then remembered that she was his wife and hesitates when she turns around. He hid the tentacles and said he's got to work. She said dear cheer starts in about an hour. He said he'll meet her there and leaves. At the cheer dear, Bill and Whaley said and enjoy some beer and he sees Starla. Grant goes over to Brenda's house and asks her if she's alone. She says yes and she invites him in. Bill notices Starla is all alone on the balcony and he goes to her. They start having a conversation and Bill tries to tell her how he feels about her, but Starla interrupts him and they both got inside. The mayor Jack came and started giving his speech. Brenda makes Grant some cheese and crackers and they both get cozy. Grant takes his shirt off to reveal the opening on the wound where the two tentacles came out, and Grant gets on top of Brenda and keeps her mouth shut while he penetrates her with the two clawed tentacles on her belly button. He starts pumping her with eggs to feed off her and grow. While she is getting filled up, her body goes into a reaction and starts squirming and kicking. Starla gets home later to see Grant with his deformed face after releasing the eggs. Starla gets very worried and says she will call for help. He explains the initial changes in his appearance as an allergic reaction to a bee sting, saying that a doctor has already given him something for it. But Starla soon learns this is a lie, as she called the doctor herself. Starla sees some posters of missing animals, mostly dogs, on a notice board. Grant takes all the raw meat and some dead dogs from his basement and takes it to an isolated barn where he feeds it to the now impregnated Brenda. She is in chains. Mad with abnormal hunger, she starts to eat. On a starry night, Starla gets a visit from officers Bill and Whaley saying that the girl Brenda has gone missing since Friday night and Grant was seen entering her house that same night. Starla says Grant is not home right now. Bill tells her to call her when she needs help and leaves. She goes into the house and takes a baseball bat from the closet and breaks open the locked door to the basement. When she got down there, the smell of rotting meat was so awful. She turns the light on to see dead bodies of several cats and dogs and some more animals. She rushed up the stairs and calls Bill to come back. While talking on the phone, a now disfigured Grant stands outside the window. She freaks out and runs for the door. He was already there. He throws her to the floor and tries to impregnate her as well, but she hits him on the head and tries to call 911, but he starts to strangle her with his elongated alien-like arm. The officers knocks on the door and kicks it open to see the couple. They warn Grant to let her go or they will shoot. He storms off into the back and disappears. The officers tried to look for him, but he was gone. 3 days later, the mayor comes to the police station demanding they try find the sucker fast, as he has been getting complaints from everyone about their missing pets and it's become a problem for his position. The officers made jokes about Grant being described as being squid-like. A call came about another animal attack on a farm. When they got there, a dog was opened and its insides were eaten. An officer lifted another dead dog's head not far from there and a cow was dragged across the field. Bill rounds up all his deputies and some civilians and plans to set up stakeout on where he will be striking next. The troops stocked up with massive firepower. One of the deputies asked to bring a hand grenade confiscated. Bill says no. Starla comes after winning an argument with Bill. The Strutmeyers were a family of 4 with 3 daughters and the parents. They arrived at the Strutmeyers family ranch. At night, the troop hid themselves and left a cow for bait and waited. Grant, now fully turned into an ugly alien-like monster with tentacles for arms and legs, comes out into the open for the cow. The old man says it looks like something that fell off his dick during the war. He slices the cow's neck and starts to drag it. Starla runs to him and calls out to him. He stops and the troop surrounds him. He gets angry and slices one of the civilians' whole body into 2. They open fire on him, but he was too fast, crawling like a snake. They follow his trail of slime to a barn in the woods. Bill hears someone making noise in the barn, so they open the door and go in. The whole place smells of rotting corpse. They see Brenda, who now becomes massively obese to the point of inflating into a gargantuan sphere of flesh as baby alien slugs grow inside her. The officers couldn't believe it. She says she is very hungry and would like one of the dead possums to eat. Jack gets sick and throws up outside. The aliens inside her starts to move and she screams in pain. She gets torn from inside out by the 100 babies. Bill sees Grant leaving and says he led us right to her. Brenda's body starts rumbling and completely explodes, releasing hundreds of the alien slugs. The little red slugs infected some of Bill's men by entering their mouths and possessing their brains. Bill tells his men to cover their mouths and protect Starla. The slugs leaves them and spreads out into the open. They come to the Strutmeyers' house and one of them tried to infect the older daughter Kylie while she is bathing in the bathtub and listening to music. She sees the little sucker and gets up but slips and fell on the floor. It got into her mouth, but she grabbed it by her fingers, partially bonding with it. She saw the slug's memories. It moves from planet to planet, eating or absorbing all life it finds there for 1 billion years. She kills it and goes to her sisters to see they are already infected. She goes out the window and jumps down to the front and gets into their car, avoiding the slugs. Meanwhile, Starla checks the infected officers are still alive. Bill says he will go the car to use the radio to call for help from state police. He hands Starla his rifle and leaves. Most of Bill's group are infected by the slugs and become Grant's puppets, speaking as if they were Grant and obsessed with bringing Starla home and holding her to her wedding vows. They killed Officer Hooper and Starla blows Whaley head open to see a slug coming out. Jack and Starla freaks out and runs. Kylie's now possessed family are outside of the car asking her to open the door. She doesn't have the keys. Bill arrives and Kylie opens the door and runs to him. Bill asks what is happening but gets hit in the head by some farmer. More possessed farmers are attacking. Bill shrugs them off, so they ran and got into the police vehicle. Bill almost got spit on with acid. He waits for Starla and the others. He sees Starla being followed by the possessed officers. Jack tripped over and fell. Bill saves him from an attack and Starla finished the attacker. They got into car and drive off. The possessed people shout Starla's name as they ran after her. Bill calls to Shelby in the office and tells her to get the CDC on the line. She tried, but the slugs come pouring down from the air vent onto her. Jack gets very angry. Kylie explains that I became a part of him for a moment and now I have memories of the parasite and Grant. The parasite goes from planets to planets, impregnating and controlling all life forms it comes across. When one sees you, all of them sees you. Bill calls back to Shelby and tells her where they are. Shelby is already possessed and they get rammed by another car. Bill regains consciousness and sees that Starla is carried away by the townspeople. He takes Kylie and they both escaped. They go to the police station and Bill tries to make the call, but the radio is busted. Bill goes to take some guns and gets attacked by a zombie dog. It jumps on him and bites him. Kylie comes and rescues Bill. Starla is cleaned up by Grant, who is now in control of the possessed people. The two hid and saw another man get spit on with some kind of acid spit from the zombies. They agreed to go to Grant's house and kill that monster, as there is no other way. Starla wakes up in her bed not remembering a thing. She hides a sharp metal hairbrush to use for later. Grant plays their song to lure her to him. Jack wakes up in Grant's house's basement, where several of the infected are eating. He tries to escape up the stairs where Grant awaits to infect him. He becomes hungry himself as he watches the others eat raw human bodies. He begins to eat too. Bill and Kylie track Starla to her home and hides to see the zombie people dragging the dead bodies to be eaten by new breeders, and some of the possessed meld into one giant creature. Starla goes to Grant and he gets angry and wraps her up with his giant tentacles. She talks him down, saying she loves him and she apologizes for trying to kill him. She says she can help her do anything he wants and that she is here for him. She got close enough where she pulls the hairbrush from her underwear and stabs him in the chest with the pointed handle. He slaps her with a tentacle and knocks her across the room. Bill and Kylie get spotted and he shoots one of them. Kylie takes one out too. Bill arrives, Jack begs to be killed, and Bill shoots him in the head. He tries to kill the monster with a grenade, but another tentacle knocks the grenade into the pool, where it detonates. Bill sees the whole town got infected and are now waking towards the house. The monster sends two tentacles to stab Bill and infect him. One is lodged in his abdomen, but Bill attaches the other to a small propane tank, filling Grant with gas. It notices and tries to pull back Bill to him. Bill shouts, and Starla, with a little hesitation for her husband, shoots the monster, causing it to explode, whereupon all the infected die. Starla and Kylie are happy that Bill is alive. Bill removes the one tentacle from his abdomen and Kylie says that you have to be stabbed by both to become one of them. The three survivors walked out of the house with all the dead people on the driveway and streets to find a hospital for Bill. Hello guys, please be one of the first 100 people to subscribe to my channel, as I will be uploading new content each week. Thanks for watching and leave comments to show how I can improve my videos.